When you're dealing with, famine.
Oh, our gift to you is we gave a goat to an African family. What?
And AIDS.
You're the first human to contract AIDS. How would I got that? You were a chimp up the ass. How else could I have caught it? I don't know, you could have been chopping up chimp meat and cut your finger that one.
Cancer.
If I ever get cancer myself, I'm going to walk into the nearest hospital and go, right, I paid for that machine. Get that little bald off it.
Hitler.
Have you been killing Jewish people? What?
Those dudes are evergreen.
Yeah.
So they're not gonna, they don't date.
Right.
You know what I mean?
There's no audience that isn't gonna love that.
What's going on, everyone? Jeremy here from The Quartering, and obviously I don't watch late night, whatever. They're talk shows, I guess. They used to be comedy. They used to be talk shows. Nowadays, they're pretty much just avenues or roads to be used by, to spread the message, whatever that may be at that particular moment. And Stephen Colbert is probably one of the worst, one of the biggest, absolute most insane government shill sellouts that I've ever seen. I thought he was funny in his limited roles on with Jon Stewart. I didn't love his Colbert Report show, but he's gotten far, far more insufferable now with the Tonight Show. But he had Ricky Gervais on last night, and they talked a little bit about kind of offense culture, modern comedy, how whether or not people can take jokes, dark humor, and things of that nature. And Gervais essentially calls like woke scolds or people that get offended by jokes stupid. And I don't disagree with him. Quote, smart people don't get offended. Ricky Gervais defends joking about spicy topics in his Netflix special, Supernature, after revealing he wants to get canceled. Gervais has revealed he cracks jokes about taboo subjects in his latest Netflix special. The 60-year-old English comedian doesn't hold back in Supernature, which will drop on the streaming platform next Tuesday, but insisted that smart people won't get offended as they understand the irony. That's the thing, like, with comedy, just because you don't think something is funny doesn't mean it's not a joke. And that happens so often in, like, modern culture, really just, like, outrage culture. A lot of these idiots that are like, they meant this, that, or, this joke was over the line. I mean, that's fine, but you admit it's a joke. Appearing on The Late Show with Stephen Colbert on Tuesday, Gervais explained that he has added new material to the special, which he had taken out on tour before the coof. Asked if he had to change jokes due to the long touring break in lockdown, Ricky said it was always evolving. There was a thought, will it be out of date? And then I realized when you're dealing with, famine and AIDS and cancer, these dudes are evergreen. So you're not really going to be dated. Colbert 58 said, there is no audience that isn't going to love that. Boo, not the bad guy from WW2. It was a long time ago, Gervais said facetiously while laughing. Get over it, Colbert added while also cracking up. It's funny because there are real moments where, like, Colbert, it's funny because, like, if it wasn't Gervais, would he be grandstanding? Like, if Trump had made these jokes or a Republican had made these jokes, don't you think that Colbert would be up there, like, eyes full of tears, talking about how, well, there's just some things you don't joke about? I'm sure he would be, right? Colbert noted that people have to know they will be forced to deal with offensive subjects like that at one of his shows. Like, you don't go to a Ricky Gervais concert and to feel good, Colbert said. Gervais responded, no, they do feel good, and the aim is to make them laugh, and they do laugh. But they know I deal with taboo subjects, but I deal with taboo subjects because I want to take the audience to a place they haven't been before and where there is tension. And I think people get offended when they mistake the subject of a joke with the actual target. And smart people know you can deal with anything, particularly when dealing with something like irony. The Office creator said that he explains irony at the beginning of his new show. Humor gets us over bad stuff. That's why I laugh about terrifyingly bad things. That's why comedians are obsessed with death, because, it gets us through. It's an inoculation of the real thing, things that are going to happen. Gervais started working on Supernature back in 2018, and Colbert asked how long it usually takes to put together a show. He said, well, I do 40 to 50 or even more warm-ups. Then I go on tour, and I might do 150 gigs. So I'd done the warm-up. I started gigging by the end of 2018 through 19, and it stopped at the end of February. It started again in July 2021, and I finished it. Gervais also said that the show was titled Supernature because he tries to debunk the supernatural. I don't believe in anything supernatural. I believe that anything that exists is by definition part of nature and explainable. If not now, but maybe not now, but eventually. It's interesting to me when you look at like Netflix now, kind of the only thing they have that, they've got the market cornered on, I would argue, is comedy specials. They spent a lot of money. We have, obviously they have Chappelle, Chris Rock, they have Ricky Gervais, a whole host of others that I'm sure I'm missing, but like the biggest names in comedy, their specials are on Netflix. You have to pay money to Netflix to watch them. And that's the issue. Gervais previously revealed he wants to get canceled and is keen to push the boundaries as far as he can with his long-awaited return to stand-up comedy. The actor admitted he's determined to turn up the shock factor even if it has a negative impact on his long-term career prospects. He told Heat, one thing I've decided to definitely do, and one thing I can't wait to start on, is my new stand-up show where it's going to be called Armageddon. I'm treating it like my last one ever. It won't be, but I want to put everything into it and try to get canceled. I want to just go all out. The interesting thing with, comedy is that, there are a lot of these people like Ricky Gervais or Dave Chappelle, where they're kind of revered for kind of not giving a crap about cancel culture anymore. But I think it would be unfair to ignore the fact that these guys are all like zillionaires, hundreds of millions of dollars in the bank, and are essentially uncancelable. But it is important that they stand tall and take this position, because there are a lot of people out there who are smaller comedians that, can look up to that and say, you know what, hey, maybe I can just go for it. And, whatever, I think comedy has been a good litmus test. We actually had a period there, from 2014 to 2018, 2019, where we had like this woke comedy and it was all just garbage, unfunny. And I talk about this with a lot of modern day comedians. They're not playing for laughs, they're playing for applause. And there's a huge fundamental difference in that. They want you to agree with them. That's what guys like Colbert and Jimmy Kimmel do every night at stand-up. They're not trying to make people laugh. They're trying to get people to agree with them. They're trying to get applause. They're trying to push forward their message, their truths, right? I assume on May 24th, when this special drops, people are going to get bent out of shape. The comedian is stirring the online cauldron yet again after claiming that smart people don't get offended by jokes. The UK comic dropped an anti-PC bombshell while promoting his new special, Supernature. Yeah, I mean, that comedy's evolving. The funny man saw it. There's a thought, will this be out of date? No, it'll evergreen because all these people are bad forever. Sure. I think Gervais has done a lot for comedy in terms of, keeping things light and keeping people, reminding people. Like, there's a reason he doesn't host the Grammys anymore. It's because these Hollywood weirdos are like completely incapable of laughing at themselves and understanding the irony of their own opulence, understanding that they took private jets there, but they all go up on stage and talk about climate change and things of these nature. People don't really like their own hypocrisies pointed out. Nobody really does, whether you're famous or not. It's just that when you're super famous, you can kind of do more about it. You can get people removed off the show. I mean, they're talking about having Chris Rock actually host the event next year, which I think would be great. And I hope he does like an hour of nonstop jokes about Will Smith, which I think would be also great. But it'll be interesting to see when his stand-up drops on, what is it, Tuesday? It's what, 6 days from now? How that goes over. I'm sure there's going to be some spicy things in there. And I hope it harkens back to his Golden Globes 2020 monologue, which was legendary. I hope you enjoyed this video. We'll talk to you again real soon.